So, yes. So I went into a recruiter. Initially, let me rewind this. I'm sorry. My husband just deployed, and before he deployed, we were living in Virginia. And I spoke to a recruiter in Virginia, and at the time, my baby was only 2 months old. So I spoke to a recruiter asking her, am I even allowed to join with her being that age, and what was the procedure or whatever. And she informed me that unfortunately I couldn't join until she was 6 months, until everything was cleared with her. There was no complications and whatever or whatnot. And when I do join, I would have to have a written form, not only from my husband's chain of command, but something from the court stating that my mother will be taking sole custody of my daughter while I was away at boot camp and he was deployed. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. So from that time, I was kind of discouraged about joining, because I'm like, if I have to wait till she's 6 months, I'm gonna end up doing something else, which is gonna take my attention away from joining. From joining the Navy, and I'm just like, I'm probably not gonna do it anymore. So I decided to myself, I'm like, you know what, forget it, I'm not doing it. And then I was just on YouTube, and I'm just seeing all these Navy videos pop up, and I'm just like, okay, is this a sign? And so I'm just clicking it, watching people's journeys. I've actually watched the first channel I found was Navy Gravy. I love her videos. I love her. She's so awesome. I don't even know her, but whatever. Someone else, I forgot her name. Navy Newbie or something like that. I can't even remember at the moment. But I was watching a couple of videos, and it just encouraged me to pick it back up again. So we fast forward. My husband deployed. We moved to Florida, my daughter and I. She's now 5 months. And I spoke to another recruiter, and he told me the same thing, like, oh, you have to wait till she's 6 months, blah, blah, but we can start working with you now. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. She'll be 6 months next month. He's like, yeah, so we can get you in the game, get everything rolling. Let's get you on this practice test. He put me on the practice test for the ASVAB, and I didn't do so well. Mind you, I've been out of high school for 5 years now, and I didn't brush up on, and first of all, I'm horrible with math, so I didn't brush up with any of that stuff. So, long story short, I did horrible on the practice test. He just said, come study some more and then come back. So I'm like, okay. But when I went to that recruiter, I didn't feel comfortable with him. I didn't feel comfortable with the way, not necessarily the way he spoke to me, but his demeanor didn't really make me feel like this is who I want to be my recruiter. So I continued searching for more recruiters around me. I found one that was even closer to my house. Then I went there. They were closed. Then I found another one. It's 20 minutes away, but I could say that I'm happy I chose to go there. So I went there. This is fast forwarding now. Went there. My daughter is now 8 months old, and I spoke to the recruiter, let him know everything about my husband being in the Navy, blah, blah, blah. He's like, all right, so before we have this interview, let me put you on the practice test. I'm like, all right. Before I went in, actually, I just did a little brush up online, literally the night before. I did a practice test, and I scored 41. And he's like, oh, that's pretty good. And I was, so worried. So I'm like, okay, it's good, cool. So sat down, had our little talk, asked him all the questions I needed to ask, and everything was set. He set me up for my next ASVAB date, which is coming up this Monday. It's Saturday now, and I'm taking my ASVAB this Monday. So I need to study, because that math is going to be a killer. But I'm confident. He made me feel pretty confident. He seemed pretty motivating. So I'm like, I'm just going to do it, roll with the punches. If anyone wanted to know what book I am using, well, I am using a book, actually. I'm actually using this book, Kaplan ASVAB 2015. I'm not into buying a whole bunch of books. I'm not going to buy more than one book. That's just not me. one, I don't like to study, and two, I just don't see myself looking through more than one book to study for one test. And I'm more so doing things via online. Another thing about this book, it is great. It's great. It has a lot of information. Yes, it's very informative. But the way I learn, I can't learn with this book. I can't study with this book, I should say. Because the way I learn, I have to be taught. And this book seems like you should already know the material in order for you to understand it, or in order for you to study. So I'm trying though. So I'm doing more so of my studies online. So that's pretty much it. I'm just doing my studying until I take my ASVAB on Monday, and I'll continue my journey from there. So thank you for watching. I'll be sure to post more videos. I'll be consistent with it, trust me, with my journey, because I didn't have anyone to do this for me, so I'm trying to do it for someone else. Alright, so see you guys Monday. Bye.